Good evening, you're tuned into Art Television and this is the State of Business. I'm Nishana Pigera. As usual, a look at the headlines first. 8th Conference of SAARC Parliamentarians begin in Colombo today. And Sri Lanka moving towards sustainable development, says Speaker. In tonight's top story, the 8th Conference of the Association of SAARC Speakers and Parliamentarians began in Colombo today. The conference was inaugurated by President Maithripala Sirisena, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. The conference, organised by the Parliament of Sri Lanka, brought together speakers and parliamentarians from the member countries of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. The theme of this year's conference is a platform for the parliamentarians of South Asia to work together to reach the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The Association of SAARC Speakers and Parliamentarians was set up in 1992 to promote coordination and exchange of information among parliaments and parliamentarians of SAARC countries. Speaking at the conference, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted the steps taken by the government of Sri Lanka in order to bring out a constitution that favours the public. The Prime Minister also expressed his views regarding the interim report of the steering committee, which was appointed to formulate proposals for a new constitution.
Interim report has now been presented to the Constituent Assembly. There's alarm in some quarters that we are going to pass a constitution tomorrow. No, this interim report was to be debated by the Constituent Assembly and explained as the start of a general debate in the country, and then the interim committee would start meeting with different stakeholders outside political parties who would like to express their views. So this is the stage that is the important one. It is that stage that we will debate end of October, the report. And once the report is debated, that's not the last debate we will have, then we will start talking to all the stakeholders. And at the same time, the bargaining will go on between political parties. After all, this is a political process and it's a quid pro quo. In January, we will be holding the elections to the local authority. And that will give us experience of this election system. So it's a step by step. Nothing has been concluded. And the next we will ask all the stakeholders outside Parliament to give us their views, consult with them, and then use this mechanism to form a consensus. But people are questioning us, when are you going to do it? So the parliamentarians have to realize that the time is limited. And in the course of early part of next year, we have to show that we are capable of taking the next steps.
Delivering the welcome address at the 8th Conference of the Association of SAARC Speakers and Parliamentarians, Speaker of Parliament Karu Jayasuriya stated that Sri Lanka is steadily moving towards sustainable development. The Speaker also stated the 19th Amendment is a landmark which has brought in positive changes to the country.
We take pride to announce that today the Sri Lanka Parliament has been recognized as a role model for other countries by the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU. We have taken steps to introduce many concepts of good governance and best practices to our parliamentary system during the last 3 years. As a result of our tireless efforts, the 19th Amendment to the Constitution was passed with Parliament. This landmark amendment established the Constitutional Council, which in turn is responsible for appointment of members to 8 to 9 independent commissions that contribute to the empower rule of law in the country. The Election Commission, the Public Service Commission, the National Police Commission, the Audit Service Commission, the Human Rights Commission, the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, the Finance Commission, the Delimited Commission, and the National Procurement Commission have been already established and functioning well. Parliament also saw positive changes during the last few years. The Prime Minister's question time was initiated. The committee system was strengthened by establishment of sectorial oversight committees and a public finance committee. The chairs of committees are equally shared between the government and the opposition. Today, we have an improved mechanism of oversight function through these committees, which in effect is a power sharing between the government and the opposition. A parliamentary budget office will also be established in the near future.
And now let's take a look at a few cabinet decisions in brief. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal made by Minister Partli Champika Ranawaka to implement 18 urban development projects in 2017 using the balance allocations. Proposal made by the Minister of Fisheries to enter into a MOU with Haecheon Coal Limited of South Korea to conduct a feasibility study and to design the development of the Tangol Fishery Harbour free of charge was also approved by the Cabinet. The Cabinet approved the Telecommunications and Digital Infrastructure Minister Harin Fernando's proposal to implement 27 projects by ICTA within 2016 to 2019 under 2017 budgetary allocations. The Cabinet of Ministers also approved proposals to award the contract of relocating the immigration area of the Bandaranaike International Airport to RN Constructions Private Limited for 472.5 million rupees and to award the contract for procurement of oil and lubricants for the Sri Lanka Transport Board to Lanka IOC PLC and Chevron Lubricant Lanka PLC. Time for us to slip in for a short break. There's more news on the other side. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching The State of Business. The Tourism Leaders Summit and International Research Symposium was held in Colombo today for the third consecutive year. President Maithripala Sirisena was the chief guest at the inauguration. The event was organized by the Alumni Association of the Tourism, Economics and Hospitality Management in collaboration with the University of Colombo and the Ministry of Tourism Development and Christian Religious Affairs. This year, the summit and the research symposium was held under the theme Sustainable Tourism for Development, Way Forward for Sri Lanka. The official logo and the trailer for the summit and research symposium was officially launched last Monday. The major objective of this event is to stimulate and keep Sri Lankan tourism development on track by providing a platform to create a national dialogue with regard to the industry and to explore the way forward.
The World Tourism Day celebrations, Sustainable Tourism for Development, will help Sri Lanka to focus on the sustainable factor of its fast-growing tourism industry. The recognition of the importance of tourism in the national development strategies and in the global development agenda is now all well accepted. Today, tourism is one of the major sectors of our economy and one of the main wealth creators of Sri Lanka tourism. For us means such needed foreign exchange, job, poverty alleviation, gender equality, sustainable production, protection and promotion of all our natural and cultural heritages. Today, Sri Lanka is a key player in the world tourism, especially after its appointment as the Vice President of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. 130 countries, 1,500 delegates endorsed this appointment and at its recent General Assembly, which was held in China. No doubt, this is a great achievement for Sri Lanka, as it becomes a role model for the development of sustainable tourism. We in Sri Lanka must therefore harness the powers of tourism for our economy, well-being, while being fully committed to the UNWTO Sustainable Development Goals, most notably at its 2020 agenda.
Let's look at how the stocks performed today after we come back from this short break. Welcome back to the show. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all share price index gained 12.87 points to close at 6,507.09 and the S&P SL 20 gained 31.51 points to close at 3,784.38. Turnover was 2.4 billion rupees and 38.6 million shares were traded. Now let's have a look at the day's foreign exchange rates. And that winds up the show for tonight. Do join us again tomorrow at the same time for the latest in business and financial news. Until then, thank you for watching. Good night.